Headlines most affecting Chilliwack this week: a weekend drowning at Cultus Lake, the advanced voting in the Eriksson by-election, a new home for Chilliwack youth healthcare, and the BC Lions with punt, pass, and kick in Chilliwack. Alex will have more in sports. Our guest this week is Eriksson Mayoral candidate Greg Dykstra, and a look at the new home for Chilliwack youth healthcare. We'll also have the latest episode of the Chilliwack hit show, Meet the Neighbours, featuring Cari Moore and Just Peachy Sugaring. They celebrate their 11th anniversary this week. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. Last weekend, the weather was perfect to head to the beach, but on Saturday, tragedy struck as a 40-year-old Langley man drowned at Entrance Bay on Cultus Lake. His name will not be released. The by-election for Eriksson Mayor and Council is September the 21st. The advance vote was this past week. Greg Dykstra is running for mayor. We'll have a chat with him in just a couple of minutes' time. The 2024 Métis Nation BC provincial election took place back on September 7th. Fraser Valley Métis leader Pixie Wells ran for president. Chilliwack's Louis DeJagger ran for vice president. Peter Lang ran for Regional 2 director. All three of them lost. The new president is Walter Minot. Last week, the BC Conservative Party leader John Rustad gave a lengthy interview to podcaster Jordan Peterson. Peterson suggested Indigenous governments, quote, can't be trusted. And then in an opinion piece sent to media, First Nations Leadership Council is asking why Mr. Rustad is aligning himself with those views. And then in the interview, Jordan Peterson discussed banned corruption with Mr. Rustad and said it's another nest of snakes that Canadians don't want to be caught with because they're afraid of being branded racist. Well, then Chief Don Tom, who is the UBC-IC Vice President and the Chief of Sarslip First Nation, stated, quote, we're sick and tired of Mr. Rustad throwing Indigenous people under the bus to gain political advantage. BC Conservatives, by the way, do have candidates in both Chilliwack ridings. This past Tuesday was the reopening of the Chilliwack Youth Health Care Centre. It's a free low-barrier counseling service for youth between the ages of 12 and 26. And it was at once was the Chiacton First Nations land office. That's been renovated. Once spread out over a number of locations, CYHC has now everybody under one roof. chillTV was there for the sneak peek and comments from Chiacton Chief Derek Epp, Tara Cummings, who is the Executive Director for Chilliwack Youth Health Centre, as well as the President, Dan Bibby, and Counseling and Trainer Director, Dr. Robert Lees. Here's that clip.
Really honored to be here and happy to open our doors. And again, it's just this is for all youth. This isn't just for the Indigenous youth in Chilliwack. This is for all youth. I think it's a unique times that we live in where our First Nations and non-First Nations governments can work together in agencies. And instead of reinventing the wheels, it's about how we can work together in partnerships.
This was when Chief Epp, as he said, was really willing to come on board and really be a site. I'm not sure if it was Dr. Lees who approached initially, but geographically located really in a really good center here with the high schools and the senior secondary.
Here's been part of the CYC for 6 or 7 years now. It's been a really awesome journey to be here, and I'm really honored to be a part of this work. So I just want to say thanks to the board, thanks to Rob, Dan, and everybody to make this possible, and really being so invested in Chilliwack and the Indigenous youth of Chilliwack as well.
Hi, I'm Kelli Paddon, your MLA for Chilliwack-Kent, and I am at the beautiful Chilliwack Cultural Centre, where we just presented the King Charles III Coronation Medals to 4 very deserving people here in Chilliwack and Kent. One of the recipients, Bradley Jeanette, received the medal for their incredible work in welcoming Ukrainians into our community and making sure they were taken care of. We also awarded the medal to Jason Lum for all of their work during the big flood that we saw in our community and their dedication to making sure voices here at home were heard. It was a true pleasure to present the medal to Julie Unger, who's the Executive Director of Chilliwack Society for Community Living, now known as Inclusion Chilliwack, for all of their dedication and determination determination in building an inclusive community that really sees and accepts everybody. And also, it was my distinct pleasure to present the medal to Her Worship Mayor Sylvia Prenger, the Mayor of the District of Kent. Sylvia is a fierce advocate and has made sure that rural voices from places like the District of Kent are heard and are respected. Thank you, everybody, for your dedication to our community. It has been such a privilege to get to work with and to get to know the award recipients, and I am so grateful that Chilliwack and Kent have seen 4 medals go to our incredible citizens.
Hi everyone, Dan Coulter here at Central Elementary in beautiful downtown Chilliwack. I just want to give a back to school message to all you folks. Welcome back to school. It's an exciting time of the year, kids starting in new grades and getting to be back with their friends again. Also, I want to remind everyone about safety in school zones. Slow down to 30 kilometers an hour in school zones to make sure that our kids are safe. As well as school buses. When they have their sign out, you cannot pass them, and you're not supposed to pass them, and it's very, very dangerous, and a child could get hurt. So I want to wish everyone a safe and happy return to school.
Last Sunday, Kent Harrison Search and Rescue rescued a paraglider. He ended up stuck in a tree near Mount Woodside. A rope rescue tree and an arborist were sent up, and what was called a dual-capacity tool-tensioned rope system. They lowered the subject from the tree to the ground. SAR said the paraglider actually did the right thing by securing himself to a tree and waiting for rescue teams rather than trying to self-rescue. Legislative changes are now in effect that will prevent dangerous persons convicted of serious criminal code offenses from legally changing their name. The amendment did come into effect September the 1st. This is on the heels of Alan Schoenborn, who recently changed his name to Ken John Johnson. He was the one who killed 3 young children, his family, in Merritt in 2008. He was found guilty of the killings, but deemed not criminally responsible due to a mental disorder, and he has been under secure psychiatric care ever since. Now, Schoenborn did change his name legally back in February of this year. Construction workers can soon say goodbye to unsanitary portable toilets on most construction sites and hello to flush toilets. Changes to the occupational health and safety regulations make it mandatory for employers with construction sites with over 25 workers to provide flush toilets, as well as hand washing facilities and clean washrooms. The changes do come into effect on October the 1st, but WorkSafe BC says they will continue to work with construction companies over the next couple of months to ensure they're aware of the changes and understand what is required to comply. This approach will, quote, allow time for employers to source required facilities. The 2024 Terry Fox Run will happen in Eriksson on September the 15th on Sunday, but sadly, due to a lack of volunteers, no runs at all in Hope or Chilliwack, so it's just Eriksson as it is. You can register ahead of time on the Terry Fox Foundation website. Changes and improvements are coming to the ticket system to the Chilliwack Cultural Centre. This to improve the system for both iPhone and printed tickets. The centre is asking patrons to be patient as they are expecting a few glitches to be ironed out. Coming up, Eriksson mayoral candidate Greg Dykstra. And it's punt, pass, and kick at Townsend Park. Alex will have sports in just a moment.
Hello and welcome to chillTV's Meet the Neighbours. Today I've made an appointment at Just Peachy Sugaring Salon. It's going to be a great day.
Cari, we're ready for you!
Hi there, I'm Cari and I'm with chillTV Meet the Neighbours, and today we are meeting with Amy Andersen, owner and operator of Just Peachy. Welcome, Amy.
Thanks. I'm glad to be part of this.
Awesome, thank you so much. So what is Just Peachy? What do you do here?
We actually do a fair amount, and that's a great question because we have people wander in wondering what this bright turquoise building is, because it used to be a bunch of things and now we're a beauty salon. It's a little bit of a collaboration. The only thing we don't do is head hair. We've got lash technicians, tattoo artists, nail, hair removal, spray tanning, facials, massage. We've even got RMTs coming on board.
You didn't mention the word sugaring. What?
Yeah. So the business started with sugaring as the number one service that we offered, and over the last 11 years, we've morphed and we added a whole bunch of things to make it almost like a one-time or one-stop shop. But sugaring hair removal is definitely the number one service that still happens here.
So you mentioned the word sugaring. What is sugaring?
That's a great question, and I explain it almost every day, so let's see if I can get this down. It is the world's oldest form of hair removal. It's literally made from sugar, water, and lemon juice. It's like a paste. It's a little thicker than honey. We put it on the skin, we take it off, and with it goes all of your unwanted hair. We can do every part of the body. The only thing we can't do is up your nose.
Okay, good to know. And do you think that people, once they've done it once, do they keep coming back?
Yeah, generally speaking, any form of hair removal is not exactly a fun experience. If it's between this and a pedicure, I go for the toes. But it's a lot easier, and it definitely gets better and better over time. About 90% of your hair will grow back every time. So over time, you'll have less and less hair, and then eventually one day, it's a permanent solution.
Excellent. And you have different sugaring rooms throughout the building?
Yeah, we have 5 different treatment rooms upstairs. Downstairs is where we have our tattoo salon. And upstairs we do sugaring, facials, massage, all sorts of things. We've got 6 body sugar practitioners and 12 staff in total.
Amazing, you're really growing.
I know, it's really awesome. Thank you.
So I know that you do services, but it looks like you also sell a few things.
That's right. Services are primarily what we do at Just Peachy, but we do have a growing retail section, and very little of it is what we provide. Most of it are brands and local businesses here in town, primarily women in Chilliwack, and it's a little bit of everything.
So if you're looking for little gifty things, maybe stocking stuffers, here would be a great place to come.
One of the other things that we offer is an artist wall. So every single month, a different female artist in Chilliwack gets to showcase all of their goods down the corridor where all of our clients go for their services, and then they get 100% of the profits that they make.
So we are here at the hello, but it's time to say goodbye. Thank you so much for being part of Meet the Neighbours. I wish you all the success in the future and have a happy 11th anniversary.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys were able to come out. It was lovely to meet you. I'm so excited the Meet the Neighbours is going well. I really appreciate being a part of it.
Thank you.
This week continues as we are interviewing the candidates for the Harrison by-election for mayor as well as council. The advance poll was this week, and the actual voting date in Harrison is on the 21st of September. Greg Dykstra, you are running for mayor. 60-second business card. You're a former Mountie.
Yes, I am. I joined the Mounties later in life. I was 43 years old. Prior to that, I was in retail for 15 years. I did a short stint in transportation. But I've also owned my own business, brick and mortar coffee shop. So I understand that aspect of life too. So there's a lot more to me than just the diversity of being a business person. As I say, I'm a father of 3, resident of Harrison for 14 years. Yeah.
And why the mayor's chair? Why not start off as a councillor? Why are you going for the big prize?
Well, I think as you know, and most people know, we're on the weak mayor system here in BC. And my strengths, I believe, are geared toward the mayor's role in the sense that we need unity, we need to focus everybody, and it's not about having to make the big decisions, it's about bringing everybody together, which is really my strengths. And so I think that's where my skills could be utilized the most, is in the mayor's chair, and we'll see in 2 years.
When it comes to Harrison, with the actual physical restraints around Harrison, can Harrison, as we'll take it for one step further, you're now mayor, can you grow? Because there's only so much room in Harrison. There's a lot of ALR that can you really touch, or is that off limits? And then do you have to grow up instead of out?
We're going to have to grow up. There's no question about it. There's very limited resources for land. What's critical in Harrison, and we're part of the Fraser Valley Regional District's strategic development plan, and we've committed to providing housing, so it'll be townhouses, it'll be apartment buildings. I don't think we'll be going to the point of being 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stories. I think we'll have to keep it down to the 3, 4, 5-story buildings, but there's definitely still room for growth, and we have a projected growth in 2050 of 2,500 people. So that's probably where we will max out. At this point in time, anyway.
There's been plenty of talk with Harrison on 2 levels, one of which is just the safety of the community in the event of drought. heaven forbid, a fire, forest fire, wildfire. Is there anything that you would like to see done or can be done, or is that pretty much the province and you're hoping that they can give you resources?
Well, I think if we could just take it a step back, the province has no interest in a secondary road out of town, and when we look at where we're at, we're in a rainforest, and that tends to be forgotten. And I think what we need to look at is, how do our forest fires burn in the Harrison area? They're not like they are up country there in Kelowna or Kamloops or 100 Mile House. Our trees don't candle. And the two fires that I've got experience with in the area, with being at the RCMP, they were low and slow. That's how they burned. So we need to make sure we're communicating with residents that they need to be prepared. We need to fire smart. We were designated a fire smart community in 2019. We need to continue with that effort. We need to make sure that residents understand that when there is an evacuation, if there is ever an evacuation, that there's a process to follow, and to make sure they start immediately and don't delay it, don't ignore it, because that's when you have problems. When you can clear out Fort McMurray in the time they cleared out Fort McMurray, we'll be able to clear out Harrison Hot Springs in the time we need to clear out Harrison Hot Springs.
You brought up another interesting point about that second route out. Is that a done deal where it's not going to happen? You can't take a Forest Service road and hook it up to Highway 7 somewhere else? It's just not going to work?
Well, they've tried to get it initiated. The government has said no. The District of Kent has pretty much indicated they're not interested. And then there's Seabird Island as well. So you've got three parties there that really aren't that interested in that secondary route. And one of our last fires was in that area. Yeah. So are we actually just putting a road through another potential fire area? So right now, I don't think that it's not a realistic option.
As a business person, are you confident that there is growth potential for Harrison?
Absolutely. There's absolutely no reason why Harrison shouldn't succeed and be successful. Our number one industry is tourism. We're not that big. We've got that small town vibe, that village vibe. We've got to keep that. But there's no reason why, with the expansion and the more residents, that we get and attract quality businesses meeting the needs of residents and the tourists.
Again, Greg Dykstra, a big thank you. September 21st is when Harrison goes to the polls. We'll be following along. And welcome to your first campaign.
Thank you.
You're watching This Week.
Hey Chilliwack, here's what's going on in sports. Starting by calling all 2024 tackle players. BC Lions punt pass kick returns to Chilliwack on Wednesday, September 18th at 6 p.m. This is a co-presents with the Chilliwack Giants. This will be at Townsend Park, and the winners will compete at the BC Lions game on October 19th when the Lions host the Alouettes. More info can be found through the Chilliwack Giants social media. The BC Football Conference action was under the lights. The Valley Huskers had no problems with the Prince George Kodiaks, 31-11 at Exhibition Field. The Huskers head to Kamloops on Sunday, September 15th. The team is currently fourth in the standings at 3-3. On the college soccer side, the UFE Cascades women's team lost 4-0 to the TRU Wolfpack last Saturday night in Kamloops. The Cascades fall to 0-2 to start, while TRU moves to 1-2 on the season. The Cascades return home for a pair of matches at Rotary Stadium next weekend. They will take on the Mount Royal Cougars at 6 p.m. on Friday, September 13th, and the Victoria Vikes on Sunday at 3 p.m. Both games can be streamed live on CanadaWest.tv. On the men's side, Mateo Brasinia opened the scoring off with a great feed from Dante Colburn, but 4 straight goals from the UBC Thunderbirds men's soccer team saw the UFE Cascades' unbeaten start to the season come to an end on Saturday in Vancouver. The Cascades' record drops to 3-1-2 with the result, while the Thunderbirds improved to 3-0-1. The Cascades have now scored first in all 6 of their matches this season. The Cascades men's team now return home next week to take on the University of Saskatchewan Huskies at 8 p.m. on Friday, September 13th, and the University of Lethbridge Pronghorns on Sunday, September 15th at 1 p.m. Both games can be watched in person at Rotary Stadium in Abbotsford or streamed live on CanadaWest.tv. How about some hockey? Because the Chilliwack Jets started their regular season with a 3-1 win at the Hangar over Langley. They host Aldergrove on Sunday afternoon at the Sardis Sports Complex. And last Sunday, the Chilliwack Chiefs won their exhibition home opener, 6-5 in overtime over the Langley Rivermen. The next game is at home on Sunday against Coquitlam. That is your sports snapshot. Coming up, Cari with the weather.
Hello, we are in downtown busy Chilliwack with the weather for this week. Saturday is going to be a little bit of rain and sun and shine all mixed into one, and then it's going to be pretty much cloudy with some sunny breaks for the rest of the week, but the temperatures are going to hover no higher than 21-ish and get down to about 12 at night, so fall is in the air. And here's a fun fact for you. Leaves turn different colors depending on how much sugar is in them. That's why maple leaves are so brightly colored. Back to you, Don.
Thanks, Cari, and thank you for watching. If you have a local news story you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I'm Don Lehn.